Welcome back. This is Hope at Dawn, right here at Hope TV, where you look and live. My name is George Gishoro, and we go straight to the newspapers. We begin with the Standard, and the Standard, they're going with the headline, "The Last Supper." That is what they are going with as the headline, and the Night of Long Knives. They're saying after weeks of protests, yesterday's cabinet meeting could be the last one for at least 7 members. Pushed to the wall on wastage and extravagance, President William Ruto has decided to axe ministers and principal secretaries as the first line of reforming his government. And there is, of course, a picture there of the president chairing yesterday's cabinet meeting. And he chaired this special cabinet meeting at State House, Nairobi yesterday, and the cabinet was briefed on the security situation in the country following days of riots. And that story, you can get it on page number 7. And of course, it's all about a case of we wait and see, because the president by now, I know, he knows the mood of the country, the expectations, moving forward. And so it's now all about the next step that he takes. All right. You can read that on page 7. Welcome to a world of super rich leaders you elected. That is what they are saying. And they say an MP's world, when they are not cruising in their latest fuel guzzler, they are landing in choppers carrying millions. And so there, you can read that story on page number 8. And it's a lifestyle of the people that you elected into parliament. On page 8. On page 9, IBC is seeking boundaries crisis court order. Remember, the IBC has not yet been constituted properly, and so questions are being asked as to whether they can continue with their role of boundaries, demarcation and all. And so they have headed to the Supreme Court to see if they can continue with that role, even as they wait for the reconstitution of the IBC. And actually, was it on Sunday? The president was quoted as saying, in 10 days' time, he will initiate the process of reconstituting the IBC. And so let's see how it goes. Page 3 has a very interesting story. How high school set books stirred protests by Gen Z. You remember those set books in high school? Apparently, they stirred the recent protests witnessed in the country. So literal works planted seeds of social consciousness that are now bearing fruit. Books have cultivated a sense of civic duty and critical eye toward governance. So details are now emerging how the youth have been inspired by set books they read in high school to anchor their anti-government protests. This literary foundation, some argue, has equipped Gen Z with concepts to articulate their grievances. And having read the books, they now want not to be victims of oppression as were manifested in the set books they read during their days in high school. Wow, interesting. Putting whatever you learned into practice. Read that on page 3. And Sounds of Defiance, how artists composed music to protest. Youthful and upcoming musicians have become very bold in their compositions, and they are using those talents, to rise against social injustices. You read those interesting stories on pages 2 and 3. Page 4. The last 2 days, the Senate has been discussing the state of the nation, and I can tell you for free, they have been hammering and bashing the National Assembly. And the same continued yesterday, and you can read that on page number 4. They are saying Senators blame National Assembly colleagues for youth protest crisis. Members told of people who are calling for the scrapping of the Senate. They accused members of the National Assembly of refusing to listen to the people. And there are quotes here attributed to some of the senators. Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang: "We have impeached 5 governors. Our colleagues in the National Assembly should tell us how many cabinet secretaries they have impeached." And Richard Onyonka, the Kisii senator: "It should be noted that this country is not a company with shareholders, but a nation of 50 million Kenyans with equal rights, and should be treated so by the ruling class." And Samson Cherargei of Nandi County: "I would like to inform Kenyans that Parliament can sit anywhere and listen to their concerns. If there is proper planning, the youths could have been allowed to enter Parliament." Wow. A change of tune here by some of these senators. But you can read what they had to say concerning the state of the nation. Page 6, Catch 22, Ruto's legacy projects up in flames after finance bill flops. Some of the affected projects were to solidify his presidency and endear him to the electorate in the 2027 polls. Treasury CS Ndongo has warned the budget for ongoing road projects will be reduced by a massive 15.1 billion. All right. You can read that on page number 6. We go to some other stories inside the Standard to get to see what's being reported. And the Standard, the business section, we're looking for this one. Shareholder jitters as listed firms cling to virtual AGMs post-COVID. The trend has sparked concerns that critical shareholder questions may be overlooked or technical glitches disrupt proceedings. Many listed firms that have clung to virtual AGMs acknowledged the challenges. You can read that on the business section inside the Standard. And then on the world news, Labour tipped for historic win as United Kingdom voters go to polls. And actually it was this morning woke up to the news that it was a landslide victory for the Labour Party, and now the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is expected to resign after that whitewash by the Labour Party. And so we will have a new British Prime Minister, that is Labour Party leader Keir Starmer, 61, will become the leader of the largest party in Parliament, and as such will become the new Prime Minister of the Great Britain. All right, read that on the world news as we go to the sports pages. And it's D-Day. Huge matches lined up today. And after 36 years of wait, Germany believe it's their turn to shine. The Germans are up against a 36-year winless run at tournaments against Spain. Spain are the only side to have tasted victory in each of their matches at Euro 2024. And the matches will be played today. Then on page 31, bring it on, Ronaldo. France have reached 6th quarterfinals in the last 7 major tournaments. Mbappe, Ronaldo face off as France and Portugal clash tonight. So those are the 2 big matches being played today at 7 p.m. That is when action begins, and it will be between Spain and Germany. That is at 7 p.m. Spain versus Germany. Remember, Spain won all their group matches. Germany won 3 and drew 1. So who will qualify for the last 4? Will it be Spain? Will it be the defending champ, or rather will it be the hosts, Germany? And then at 10 p.m. it will be the old and the young. Ronaldo will be leading Portugal, and Mbappe will be leading France. So who carries the day? Will it be Ronaldo's Portugal or Mbappe's France? We will be getting those answers from 10 p.m. tonight and 7 p.m. Spain versus Germany. Those are the 2 quarterfinals that will be played today. Tomorrow, it will be 2 more matches we will be having Turkey will be taking on the Dutch, that is the Netherlands, and then England will be locking horns with Switzerland. But the two big matches are on today. And then I see Adhiambo gives hope to Malkia strikers ahead of Paris Games. Kenya Pipeline star shines as Kenya fall to Puerto Rico in Challenger Cup quarterfinals. National volleyball team now shift their focus to the Paris Olympics after the show in Manila. Read that on page 30. And on page 29, Odira now eyes a place in final as she makes her Olympics debut. Odira's confidence has been boosted with the silver medal she bagged at the Africa Championships in Cameroon. She says qualifying for Olympics was a big boost to her career. You can read that on page 29. That is the Standard. Daily Nation quickly, heavy burden of new student loans are now degrees of debt. That is what the Nation is reporting. Families are paying higher fees than before under the higher education funding model unveiled last year that will also end up saddling their children with hefty loans upon graduation. And with the current job crisis, things can only get worse. A student taking medicine and classified as most needy, listen to this, they will end up with 1.4 million shillings in loan. And that is a student who has been classified as most needy. Read that story on page 4. And also on the front page, there is a picture there of the IG of police, Japhet Koome. And the question they are asking, why IG Koome is a man under siege? Where is he? The youth protests against unpopular taxes and runaway cost of living, as well as the National Police Service's handling of the demos in which at least 39 people have been killed, have once again revived speculation that the police boss is not sitting pretty. Where is he? Read that on page 10. Then I see how oil farms passed 5.4 billion shillings bill to buyers. At least 5.4 billion shillings was irregularly passed on to consumers by oil marketing companies in demurrage charges through high pump prices, according to a special audit. Hey, the things that are happening. Anyway, read that on the back page of The Nation. For Ruto, passing bills won't now be a walk in park. If the overflowing apologies by MPs who voted for the Finance Bill 2024 are anything to go by, President William Ruto should be worried over consideration of government-sponsored bills in Parliament. While the apologies might not translate to shifting to the opposition, they mean the lawmakers will now cast votes on government-backed bills, not because of the directives of their parties, but instead based on the interests of their constituents. Read that on page 8. Page 7, an easy calm returns to the streets in many towns as protesters keep away. It's on page number 7. You can read that on page number 7. Then I see big drop in prices spells doom for maize growers. It's on page 13. You can read that. And then the pullout today, that is the DN2, The Voice, the battle with menopause. Silent storm, Furaha Bishota's severe menopausal struggles affected multiple aspects of her life. Her story underscores the often overlooked struggles women face during menopause, highlighting the need for more awareness and support. You read that on page 4 and 5 inside the DN2 pullout. The County News, why Al-Shabaab returnees won't shake state's hand of forgiveness. The amnesty program has not succeeded because of lack of trust due to rampant cases of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances, according to Hussein Khalid of Haki Africa. Relatives are reluctant to hand over their kin for fear they might be killed or disappeared. You can read that on page 19, which is the County News section inside the Daily Nation. The business section, they are saying sectors hardest hit by the anti-tax protests revealed. Retailers, construction firms, and farmers bear brunt of nationwide demonstrations. And then I see Treasury's order that caused KPC 3 billion shillings pain in botched contract. You can read that on the business section. And then I see on the sports pages, let's see what's being reported. Kimanzi urges caution against Cameroon, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. The 2025 AFCON qualifiers, Harambee Stars have been placed in Group J with five-time champions Cameroon. The qualifier matches for the tournament will start in September later in the year. And former Harambee Stars coach Francis Kimanzi has called for adequate preparation as the country heads to the qualifiers of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Kenya will face five-time champions Cameroon, Namibia, and Zimbabwe in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. I see German machine takes on best team at this tournament. Germany is looking to end 36-year winless run against Spain as home fans desperate for first title in a decade. And Germany's defensive organization versus Spain's attacking flair. I'm looking forward to this match, and my prayer and my hope is that it will live up to the billing. Age cheating, latest setback for Kenya in competitions. AK 6 government's help in unearthing 26 cases involving former World Under-20 and Under-18 medalists. That is in the Nation. Quickly, the Business Daily. Manufacturing grows manufacturing grows at slowest pace since 2008 post-poll crisis. 1.3% growth recorded in first quarter. Sector feels the weight of high costs and taxes. Ruto spoke to IMF chief after withdrawing the finance bill. Then foreign currency loans deposits fall by 505 billion shillings. And there is a quote here by Jaindi Kisero. On page 9, indications are that all is not well with the affordable housing program, the president's signature project. You can read more on page 9. And kibarua bungeni, baadhi ya wabunge wameomba msamaha kwa kupuuza matakwa ya wanaowakilisha. Huenda Rais Ruto akapoteza udhibiti wa bunge kufuatia hatua ya wabunge wa Kenya Kwanza kuomba msamaha kwa kuupigia kura mswada wa fedha wa mwaka 2024. You can read that on page 2 inside Taifa Leo. So that's what's being reported in the dailies this morning. Yes, go ahead and grab your favorite copy of your daily. Get to see what is being reported, what is happening in our nation. As believers, wacha tuzidi kuombea our nation. Right about now, it's the video of the day, and the video of the day today is courtesy of Eunice Njeri. Let's enjoy.